Well, good morning to you all. Good morning. Oh dear, it's that time of year when the sun starts to get a little bit low in the sky, isn't it? And we can't see if we drive in certain directions. Fortunately for me, I'm going to be driving with it on my left, not directly in front of me. What is it today? Monday, 25th of September 2023. Busy programme of things to do today, and got to make best use of the weather. So I've left the washing machine running so that when I get back from the shops I can hang up my clean sock. And I've written a shopping list this morning, and I've remembered to bring it with me. So far the day is going well. We've got plenty of opportunities for it to go in any direction between now and when I crawl into my bed. But what a lovely day. There we are, we're casting a long shadow this morning. I thought I'd leave the camera running just here because there's a family of pheasants that lives in this hedgerow, and sometimes they sit in the road, but not this morning. I sort of hope they're all right. Yesterday I heard hunting going on, and it's that time of year when people go out and shoot pheasant. I'm not a great fan of sport hunting. I get that some hunting is necessary to control populations of wild boar or foxes. Renard, we call them here. We don't call them foxes. Renard. And I get the idea of killing for food, but I just am not keen on killing things for sport. Yeah, you know, I look at the cows in the field and I think, aren't they wonderful creatures? And won't they taste nice? So I'm not against killing animals, but somehow doing it for fun, I don't know, that's not a part of me. The swallows have disappeared. They've gone off to Africa for winter. They'll be back next spring. Well, interesting squeaky noises coming from the cargo compartment of the lorry. When we get home, I might show you what I've bought today. And some of you will say, jolly good, and some of you will say, how on earth have you lived without one for so long? Yeah, it's been a comical morning, and it tested my ability in the French language, because what I bought required a lot of assistance one way and another, and the experts who know all about this particular piece of equipment, not one of them speaks perfect English. They all speak a few words, but just as I don't know technical words in French, French people who speak English very often don't know technical words in English. So there was a certain amount of comedy involved, but we got there in the end. I hope. We'll find out when I unload the car and install this wonderful thing that I've got in the back of the car. Oh, so what has the silly fool bought now? Yes. This will make life a little easier. Here in Azay-le-Ferron, if you want a gas cooker, you have to have bottled gas. We don't have a town gas supply. That's sort of fairly normal in rural areas. So we had a bit of comedy with this. The lady that assisted me with the oven, the four à gaz, and because it's gas rings as well, it's properly known as a gazinière. She's very, very helpful. She's helped me plenty of times in the past, and yeah, cracking person, speaks no English. And I'm afraid when I was at school, they didn't teach us all of the French words for different bits and pieces of a gas oven. But we got there. She explained that this is rigged for town gas, and to run it on bottled gas we need to do some work. We've got a little bag with jets to change this over to run it on bottled gas. Excellent. Yeah, so that was that. And I said, well, what does it come with? Does it come with a pipe and a regulator? No. And the shop that I got the cooker in doesn't sell the pipes or the regulators. They don't call them a regulator. I have been told 3 times this morning what we call a regulator. Ah, there we are. Un détendeur. Yeah. You and I would call that a regulator, but its proper name is un détendeur. So, the lady in the shop where I got the oven said, go and see. Now I'm going to say Frank because you lot all speak English. I knew who she meant. Frank. He's a nice guy. Doesn't speak a word of English, but he's a very, very helpful guy. And I took with me the booklet for the oven, and he said, I can sell you the pipe and the détendeur. He said, but before you buy the pipe and the détendeur, go and get the gas. Now the shop where I got the cooker and the shop where I was going to get the pipe and the regulator don't sell gas. That's sold at the petrol station. So I went across there, and the gentleman there, who I've dealt with many times, he's a delightful chap. He's always polite, kind, helpful. I've seen him help plenty of people with gas, because a lot of the people here would have trouble lifting one of these. I don't, but a lot of people do. So I went and spoke to him, and he, of course, doesn't speak a word of English. But he understood exactly what I wanted and sorted me out 2 bottles of gas and the regulators, which when you get a new bottle, these are freebies. So that was good. So then I went back to the other shop with this in my hand, and Frank Fogg got me the right pipe so that we can get this all installed, piped up. The jet's changed. I've got to change the jets, mustn't forget that. And who knows, we might even be cooking on gas today. And the thing that I had going through my mind to talk about, and I forgot, is I don't know what's happening with sale of fuel and such likes in France. If you buy fuel for your lawnmower in the lawnmower fuel shop, you have to fill in reams of paperwork. If you buy fuel for your lawnmower in the petrol station, you don't. If you buy cooking gas, there are reams of paperwork. You know, as you're going through the questions, you sort of think, why do they really need to know that? You know, I just want to make a cup of tea and cook a chicken or something. But, yep, reams of paperwork. Who are you? Where do you live? What's your address? So on and so forth. Not quite what was your grandmother's maiden name, but it begins to feel like that. And, you know, we smile and we get on with it because them's the regulations. The funny thing is, having filled the forms in and got me first 2 bottles of gas, I don't have to fill the form in again. I just walk in there with an empty gas bottle and walk out with a full one. I guess I'm getting to that age where I really have lost interest in all of that sort of administrative nonsense. I just want to drink a cup of tea. Well, okay then. How far did you get before you had to read the instruction manual? And when you did have to read the instruction manual, how far did you get before you realised that it's all in French? This is one of those fiddly jobs. Changing the gas jets, incidentally in French they're injecteurs. That one was easy. Nice big space to work in. That one was fiddly, as was that one. Those two are the same size, and you know, you can see that my big fat fingers. But this one, well, that was a comedy. I did manage it with a dinky little 7mm socket and lots of messing about. But now we've got to change the jet that feeds the oven. Yeah. And what the book says is you take the door off. That was comical. because the diagrams really didn't quite tie up with this particular oven. And then you remove the screw that is there. There isn't a screw there. What there is, there's screws underneath in there, but I'm looking at this thing and I think, well, for a start, the book clearly doesn't tie up with the oven. So I think, having put my finger in there, the jet is actually in that block there. So I think I've got to take that bit off. I think that's what we've got to do. It's got two screws, it's got this little, shall we call that a thermocouple, and pretend we know what we're talking about. And of course it's got the gas pipe. Yeah. And I can feel that the jet is on the back of that block. So we'll pop that off. And there is the little jet that I've got to extract. Yeah, with a 7mm socket. And what the instructions finish up by saying is putting everything back together is the reverse of taking everything apart. I think that's what it said. It might have said Prince Charles is in, King Charles is in Bordeaux and the Pope is in Marseille. It might have said, do not touch, get an experienced gas fitter. But we're going to wind this little jet into the hole and mantle everything up again. Well, look at that. Good job that the plasterer turned up when he did to advise the gardener on how to do this job. Right, let's not waste gas. Yeah, now all I've got to do is knock a hole in some brickwork to feed the pipe through it, and yeah, we'll sort of, we'll work it all out.